What it do, what it do, what it do, and welcome back to another episode of The Weekly Wind-Down, your favorite chat show hosted by yours truly, Jer Bear, a.k.a. Jeremiah Neal, a.k.a. the pop culture maven, a.k.a. a fulfilled, enlightened one. Y'all, my cup is definitely so full after getting to see my mom and her side of the family in Atlanta over this last weekend. Oh my goodness, welcome to Atlanta where the play is played and we ride on things like every day where it's hot and hot and hot and hot, girl. Oh my gosh. Fresh off the plane, it was 85, 87 degrees. I said, oh, welcome back to the South, girl. That's what I definitely remember from my childhood and my teenhood. So, yeah, but you already knew I had to pull out the hoochie mama shorts, okay? Immediately, girl, okay? Sun's out, thighs out. Anywho, ATL did me so good. And if y'all have never visited, I definitely encourage y'all to definitely take some time to go. The food is superb, definitely super affordable as well. Oh my goodness, after living in New York for so long, I was shocked to have meals for like $7, $9. What? And the Beltline girl, wow, she has improved, girl. I was so surprised to see all these new businesses and apartments on my little stroll, but I love that. I love to see evolution, especially in a city that has potential to be a New York, a LA, if people could just really hone in, which they have been. That's why I always love Atlanta. It seems to be obviously a Black Mecca, but I've been seeing more and more creeds of people going there and putting belief into the city and they tax dollars. A couple potholes been fixed up since my last time on the, what is it, 285 or I-85, girl. Typically, the car be shaking, girl, twist and shout. But overall, the biggest lesson that I got from my visit is that sometimes y'all got to just slow down. I think I've talked on this theme a little bit, especially like during the holiday season, but I be so tapped into the pulse of New York City, which y'all know is hustle and bustle and everybody just go, 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 go. So then when you get to a city like Atlanta, where it's actually okay and it's encouraged for you to slow down and appreciate each moment, each hour for what it is and what it could be, it really teaches you how to be present and actually enjoy it, even if that's just you sitting in the back porch looking at the trees and the nature, sipping on some tea on the porch. You know what I mean? Like, there is balance that is needed in all of our lives. And so I'm so glad that I have that as a foundation, a pillar that I can always return to whenever I need. You just gotta love that good old Southern charm. But anywho, y'all, speaking of balance, I got a question for y'all. Have y'all ever had an experience at work where someone just walks off the job and quits mid-shift? Like, I witnessed this for the first time today in my whole life, and I'm just so, like, baffled because I thought this was only people did this in the movies. And maybe it's just, like, my millennial, loyal, gullible, Southern-minded brain could never process doing that just because of what I've been conditioned to be like. I'm the type of person that I'll overstay my welcome, which I'm trying to decode myself from. But I could never do that. Like, most I could do is maybe, like, a 4-day notice, a week notice, girl. But I definitely couldn't just do, like, in the moment like that. And I need to practice being like this person because that instantaneous flash, it had to be a revelation for this person. But the fact that they decided to act up on it in the moment, as opposed to just like dragging things out, I really find this super inspirational. I see that in the job force, this is the new wave of things. And honestly, I ain't mad one bit. Like, people got to do their thing. And I hope we can all learn how to detach ourselves from vibes that don't serve us the way it's supposed to. Like, there's no need for us to ever overstay our welcomes, especially when you can notice it. When you peep game, your intuition always right, but our brain sometimes overrides the feelings, the gut feelings that our body is trying to tell us that something of an environment is unsafe or you need to keep on doing more exploration. So this leads me to believe that a lot of us choose our own suffering, that whole stalling out, waiting to exit and to leave a situation. And at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? You know, something always works out. So I hope that number one, that I can like speed up to reality, because I'm pretty sure probably a lot of y'all are being like, oh my goodness, this happens to us all the time. But for me, I just always thought that was something in the movies, y'all. I was so shook. Y'all should have seen my face. Jaw to the floor like the mask, girl. Anywho, so today, you all, we're going to be introducing another mini-series within the Weekly Wind Down. Y'all know I love my little like ongoing vibes. We already got that going for Bravo. I already done did like 4 episodes about them. But this new one is called AskJer. I'm getting into my Dr. Phil, Iyanla Van Zant, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Bad girl, okay. But I actually had this series on my Patreon years ago, and it was a private series. But I decided that I'm going to do do a hybrid vibe. So I opened it back up to the public, which is super cool. But my Patreon members got first access in sending me questions that they wanted me to answer to. So if y'all want to, get that exclusivity, go ahead and become a patron today. But I'm very excited to get through these first round of questions. And in the future, if y'all ever have any inquiries for your girl, always hit your girl up at worldofjer@gmail.com. Okay. I also wanted to preface again, I am not no Cheyenne Bryan girl. Okay. I am declaring that right up front. I am not a licensed psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, none of that. Okay. All I know is that I've personally just lived a lot of life. And, when you go through some things, you definitely know how to just, peep game. So I'm hoping that I can do that with all my listeners. And I hope y'all really enjoy this episode. It definitely will be on the calmer side of things as opposed to some of my most recent episodes have been a little crunk, y'all. And I know I've been trying to create this space of, what was that? So with that being said, let's get into AskJer. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's roll into this first question. It reads,
Hey, boo. Ooh, okay, so my question is, what would be your advice for someone struggling with consistency? Currently, I haven't been feeling my daily walks as much, which for a year was my salvation and my way to clear my head. I also have been wanting to show up online and try to build up something, but have been sort of feeling like, what's the point? It won't work out for me.
Ooh. Well, babe, first of all, thank you for this lovely question. And oh my, can I relate to this? Y'all, when I say, maybe I shouldn't be telling all my secrets like this, but I have some of the worst imposter syndrome. Like I could literally be like watching my content blow up, succeed, etc., and then be just like, but how? Why me? Even though these are the things that I crave and desire and write on my manifestation list and dream about, all that. So the mind is a crazy thing. What I first want you to understand is that like your mind and heart and soul are like separate things. So the things that make you feel good from within, that's your soul, and never lose touch of that. Sometimes our souls and our minds align, which is good. That's what people talk about, alignment. And that's a place that I feel like all of us should want to strive to be in. However, sometimes the mind can be playing mind games. You know what I mean? It could just be telling you things that are just not accurate or not true. And a lot of it, especially when it comes to content creation, is not true, especially nowadays, because everybody's interests are so niche. You could literally talk about and dive into any topic that you want to and really make any type of content series, whether it be audio, whether it be video, end on that. Start there and then just try it out. And I also love to equate numbers into like literal people. So if your video gets 50 views, equate those 50 views into 50 people that watch you give your TED Talk IRL. And that'll really change your perspective as to why reach is really cool, no matter the size. Because if something has a small amount, it feels like an intimate setting, or you had an intimate conversation with dope friends, whereas something that goes viral feels like, okay, cool, the whole world sees you and aligns with your thought process, which is also very rewarding. So everything that you want to work out will work out for you. And I definitely encourage you to start up whatever you would like to online. Definitely now is the time. 10, 15 years ago, people used to judge folks like myself for uploading videos on YouTube, and now it's become second nature. So dive on in right now. Now is the time to do so. Now, when it comes to feeling motivated for your walks, I also can feel this and relate to this so much because as someone that suffers, well, hold up, it ain't no suffering, okay? Someone who has or embodies traits of ADHD and Asperger's, I'm the type of person that always wants to set a goal, but like sustaining that and maintaining that over a long period of time can be my big struggle. Like that's why I could never commit to a diet more than like 10 to 12 weeks back in my high school days in my 20s, because I would always end up just stressing and overthinking and then end up binge eating and going to Cold Stone where I used to work. Eating too gotta habits, just because you just get all overwhelmed. So in this regard, I would definitely advise you to do a couple of things. I think number one, trying to pair the experience with something else that is exciting can make the walks something that you look forward to. So personally for me, I love to I will save the episodes of my favorite podcasts knowing that I'm going to go head up to Central Park or to Prospect Park, because that's when I get my little speed walking on and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like double dopamine. I'm in the hustling and bustling and the rush of exercising, but then I'm also listening to something that I really truly enjoy. So it's like double the rush. So maybe try that out, because it helps like rewire the brain to perceive the experience as something enjoyable again, and something different than what you were doing from a year ago. Because maybe that's what it is. Your brain is wanting something shiny and new. Like with the amount of social media that we get hit with every single day, our attention span to things has dwindled in comparison to how things used to be like in the 90s and 2000s. So it kind of makes sense that you might be tired out about this, which leads me to my next next suggestion, find a new activity. Maybe walking is just not your activity for right now. Like I've noticed that in New York, you got to have like 3 or 4 things that you are into, whether it be like yoga or my power walking or dance class or something like that. And then you can alternate those exercise points to diversify the experience so it doesn't get stale too quick. You gonna find me, I even just got me a little skateboard. Y'all gonna be seeing me all up at Prospect Park. Nah, I got to get me a little helmet now because I can't be busting my head open. But you know, you just got to try new things. So I would definitely encourage you to like take up a new hobby or try, even if it was like rock climbing or surfing or something like that, like incorporate that and see if that could be the new peak. And then you always know that you can always fall back to the walks every other day or something like that if you want to switch things up. I know I said a couple of things, but the last thing, also maybe switch up the time of day that you were doing the walks. So if you were typically doing them in the afternoon or in the evening, try doing them when you first wake up in the day. So it's like, oh, I started off the day, I checked off the thing that feels like it's going to be a task or a chore. And that can kind of convert your brain into being like, oh no, this is just a habit. This is just what I do because I'm a baddie. But yeah, it's all about just like rewiring the brain to convert vibes and make it be like, oh, it's not going to be scary. It's going to be easily achievable. And I think that's going to just switch up vibes for you. So try that out and let me know what you think. All right, y'all, we headed into the next questiones. I'm going to title this one, The Spiritual Spiral. You know, we got to set the tone for these little, audio storytellings, but it reads,
Hey, Jer. So I've been talking to this person for almost a year, and we still haven't had the talk, in quotations. Every time I get close to bringing it up, they change the subject, change energy, bring up random examples on how not having labels serves them at this particular time in their life. My roommates and my mom say I should leave, but honestly, the connection feels so real. Every time we hang, it feels like heaven. Am I wasting my time, or should I hold on a little longer?
Ooh, girl. No, I'm going to preface this, y'all. Do as I say and not as I do when it comes to love. Because I'm the type of person over here being the biggest feminist talking about I hate men and then I be fawning over it because, it's just a circle of life, girl. It's the good and the bad. It's the devil and the angel on the shoulder. But nevertheless, in my opinion, it seems like this person might be hanging on to the potential or the idea of what y'all could be. And so they want to like hang you around. They want to just have you around on standby. It's like having a little tether or like having a little leash. But kind of what we were talking about on the last topic, you need something that's going to actually sustain and maintain for you. So it's great to have quality chemistry with someone, but if they simply aren't compatible for your current needs, this can include like your emotional needs, your emotional demands, then y'all just gonna have to come to some type of compromise because that's what a relationship is. It's like y'all meet each other halfway, y'all bend, y'all pull. Sometimes it's not gonna be 50-50. It might be 60-40 or 70-30, but you're gonna get yours at one period. But that's what it is y'all gonna have to come eye to eye, ear to ear, chest to chest, nose to nose. Come on, Rihanna. And Money Long wrote that song. Anywho, y'all see how my brain did? If y'all ain't believe that your girl had ADHD, there you go. But once y'all come to that compromise, you got to stand firm in it and you got to believe it. You can't just choose something just for the sake of holding on to potential because then you're just doing what they are doing, which is not cool as well. In this stage of the world, when we have, I don't want to say access to so many people, I don't want people getting caught up again into potential when you can actually date and find people that truly vibe with more characteristics of you, more interests, more vibes. I think that's the fun in dating. And sometimes we limit ourselves again, thinking that, oh, another person might not come along. That's not the case. So you got to be bold with the communication. At some point, just everybody sit down and simply just ask the question, okay? But also, if that's not in your nature, if that's something that gets you like nervous or antsy, or maybe you get a little frustrated or your tone elevates or something like that, if your emotions tend to cloud your judgment, then, maybe preface that and let them know that this is like a serious talk or whatever, but I don't want that to lead into like more drama. But I do think it's super important to communicate your feelings and be direct. This is not the time to be beating around the bush because you're going to be saving yourself time or you're going to be enhancing the timeline that you currently desire by being forward with your communication. I always keep talking about this, but people got to learn how to say what they need to say. Don't be waiting into the deathbeds and stuff like that to let people know how you truly feel with the good and the bad, because I feel like that can shape and transform timelines and help us achieve some of the goals goals that we've had in the back of our heads for so long, but the hesitation, the holding back of the tongue doesn't lead us into the new timelines and stuff that we be desiring. So yeah, boo, I want you to just have a conversation with yourself about what you truly want. It might not be right now, you know what I mean? They might not want to be in a healthy relationship with committed labels and go on those double dates with your friends and stuff if that's what you are desiring. And they might not want that. And you just got to accept that and then decide and spell it out to the person. Do they want this specific partnership? If they don't, all right, we got to take a pause. We got to take a break. We might be better off as friends and we keep it pushing. At the end of the day, love is only half the battle, girl. Honestly, it's probably about 30% at this point when it comes to relationships in 2026. So don't just think just because you have chemistry with someone that y'all are compatible, really like make sure that people are checking off all the boxes that make sense with the current life that you have or the goal life that you're striving for. Y'all, I'm telling y'all gonna, especially living in New York, that has taught me that you are going to find other people, and not in a superficial way, because I can say, y'all, I do be falling in love every damn day when I get on this train. It's always somebody new that I'm just like, oh, marry me. But then you also get to connect with people, the coffee dates, going to the dance classes. I've been going to some showcases and stuff like that and meeting new artists. I'm just like, oh my goodness, there's so many humans on this planet. Y'all gonna find your person or your people if you dabble in a little polyamory pond. I ain't mad at that either. All right, y'all. This next question I decided to title Main Character Energy Gone Wrong. This is a very intense question, but I'm definitely here for it. All right, the question reads,
I have been really focusing on myself this year. It's all about the glow up. I got a new job, new apartment, the works. But now some of my closest friends are starting to act distant and low-key shady, like they're not happy for me. No one reaches out to hang or to treat me like they used to do in the past. Did leveling up cost me my friend group? And how do I handle people who can't celebrate my wins?
Ooh, girl. Well, first I will say relationships and friendships are not how they used to be back in like the 2000s and the 2010s. I feel like we've all evolved as humans, and there are much more like criteria on the plate of what people require in order to sustain and maintain. Is that going to be the... I got to add merch for that as well. But nevertheless, it makes sense as to why some of y'all are my patrons, because we are definitely mirrors of each other, because I've definitely gone through all of these experiences that y'all have named so far. But I can definitely relate to this because I sacrificed many of my friendships in LA towards the latter half of my time there, just because in order to take on the social media marketing gigs and kind of be on standby 24/7, you have to kind of be like tunnel vision. You don't have time to be going out to party or to be going to do this and this and that. I don't want to say it's a regret, but there are some times where I wish I would have gone to those parties, or I wish I would have gone to those dinners, or just hung out with the people that were inviting me to things. Because I will say, fast forwarding, it does sting. What you're noticing right now is it does sting when you notice that the invitations stop or the people aren't hitting your line as frequently as they used to. It's a chronic thing. Sometimes it doesn't happen like sporadically or like super, super fast, but you'll notice it and it's like, dang. However, in my eyes, I feel like these are only plateaus. It's not the end unless you want it to be the end. So if you truly want to go see these people and you truly want to hang out with them, then make a couple of attempts to like re-spark the flame. And then that's when you can truly judge, if it's worth hanging on to, or if you just got to move on and make new friends, or simply just enjoy the solo life, which is something that I have been moving and grooving in my 30s too. I was very dependent, I would say, in my 20s, wanted to be super popular. I had to have all the Facebook friends and stuff like that to prove to people that I had friendships. Whereas now I want to prove to myself that I can walk to the beat of my own drum, just do my own thing and take care of myself, and know that I can find comfort in my solitude just as much as I can hanging out with friends. And then also, what is a friend? Because sometimes we can also I don't know if we should be ranking people or whatever, but sometimes people can just be an associate or a Judy, y'all. Not everybody has to wear that badge or that role as a friend. And then you can also give and take what you need from certain people. And you can rely on homegirl. She's good for getting margaritas with. Well, that's your margarita friend for every other Tuesday. You know what I mean? Or this is your girl that you can sit on the phone or FaceTime with, and she's your confidant, but maybe she's not good at cooking, so you don't invite her to cooking party. No, that was just a random ass example off the dome. But you know what I'm saying? You can kind of compartmentalize why you appreciate people for what they offer and ignite the friendships from that, instead of expecting people to fit all of your demands and all your needs. Because let's face it, like I said, we have augmented, we are so nuanced as humans in 2026 that it's going to be very impossible to find a friend that like literally checks off all the boxes of what we need or what we would compare to a best friend of the 2000s, I'd say. But also be mindful, y'all, like don't be hitting no dead wall, okay? One thing that they never really taught us in like the school of life is that like some friendships aren't supposed to last forever, okay? Each duration period of a friendship is going to be different. So I say enjoy it for however long it lasts and be open, optimistic to newer friendships that are on the horizon as opposed to expecting everybody is supposed to ride with you for 20, 50 years because it just ain't going to be that way. And then speaking of school, I also had a couple of people just randomly hit me up in the DMs. It had nothing to do with this episode, but I figured this would be like a cool closer moment. People have been saying that they want to go back to grad school. This is like a new trend, a new wave of folks. So I kind of want to just touch base on this. This was so me last year. I applied to a few schools and ended up getting deferred from the one that I really wanted to go to. And it just like threw my mind for a loop because I just knew I was getting in, girl. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing until they did. Now, in retrospect, I think it's good because at this particular school, I would have been spending $38,000 a semester. So your girl is winning on that front. And I would say in the current vibes that I'm in New York, the School of Hard Knocks, I'd say some of my learning lessons from this experience is super priceless. So my answer to anyone that's like contemplating on wanting to get their master's degree or go back to school is if you really want to go back to school because you just know that this is for you and this degree is just going to pivot everything and you just feel it within the heart, I say go for it. I have that inkling on my heart as well because when I was an undergrad, girl, of course I killed it. GPA 3.7, 3.8. But girl, I was not paying attention in no class, no group project or whatever. I don't know how I was getting these just because I'm a good test taker. But now if I were to go back to school, I know it would be a completely different experience. So that's how it got to feel. But if you just feeling like you craving, you want to have a learning hobby, you love history or math or something like that, there are other resources online for you to scratch that itch without you having to cough up that much coinage and also that much time, y'all. Because let's not forget, school is school, y'all. You have to study. There are tests, there are exams. And when these coins are coming out of your pocket, even if you get in scholarships and stuff nowadays, you're still going to have to like put in some effort or some collateral up front. You got to be mindful of that. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. You know, it'd be sounding all great on paper, but then once you get the ball rolling and you get into them classes and stuff like that, you're going to really have to push yourself, you know what I mean? And especially in 2026, it's a different world, girl, with this AI and all that. So I couldn't imagine them flagging my papers talking about you ain't write this when I know I spent 12 hours in the library writing a damn paper, girl. You better give me my A, okay? It's a different world from where you come from. Y'all like that show? That's a good show. Oh, but yeah, if any of y'all are leaning into the hobby side of education, I would say, like I said, utilize the plethora of, if you anti-AI, then at least use a Google search engine or something like that. We have access to so many vibes online and on the web that will feed your feeding for education. And then I feel like from here, y'all will be able to pinpoint, yeah, this is what I want to do, or I want to be a teacher. I know I got to go ahead and get the certification, etc. So yeah, just feel it out. And you don't got to rush things. Take your time. You know, if it's really meant to be, it's going to happen. But that's just me. Anywho, y'all, your girl, we got to get on cooking, getting prepped for the next day. I've been trying to like organize my days a bit better just so I don't feel like I'm like lagging or feeling like behind the current. I love feeling on offense. So if any of y'all are in that mood where, you know, you're trying to find your little 45 minutes of self-care a couple of times a week or whatever, y'all got to let me know y'all tips and tricks on remaining balanced that way because woo, your girl be all over the place. Even when I be cleaning my room, I be wanting to go start on folding clothes and then I hop over to now I gotta organize the hats and then I'm gonna start sweeping, and it's like I open up 20 tasks instead of just finishing one and moving on to the next. But like we said, it always resolves, it always gets itself figured out. So let that be, I guess, the lesson of today's episode, y'all. It's always gonna work itself out. So in the meantime, just enjoy, have fun, lay low, but say wide open if you want, because a hot girl summer is quite approaching, girl, because it's getting hot as hell. But most of all, just do your thing because life is going to manifest for us the way it's supposed to. And yeah, I love y'all down boots. Thank y'all for listening to me every single week. If y'all could see my face every time I log into my dashboard and be seeing these metrics, again, talk about imposter syndrome from earlier, but I'm just like, these people want to listen to me? I'd be surprised every single time. So thank y'all. Every listen that I get, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And please go ahead and share an episode if you feel like a friend, a family member, someone that you get down with would love to get into the wave, the vibe of the world of Jer. They want to be a pop-holic, a pop head. Okay, stay tuned for this merch, y'all. Your girl been working behind the scenes. So we got a couple more rollouts happening this summer, but I can't wait to get it popping and hopefully hang with y'all sometime IRL this summer. So we gonna work something out. It's gonna happen, especially with my patrons. But love y'all down. I'll talk to y'all next week. It's been Jer Bear signing out of the weekly wind down. Holla!